Good morning. It's almost 10 o'clock, Stampin Thursday, our Facebook Live, and I am Deanna Blackman, Stampin DeDe, and I'm so glad to be here with you this morning. I'm going to give it a minute because I did start a minute early, so let me go over here and just make sure that I am live. You know, you never know till it happens, whether you're really live until you can see it on your laptop. So I am trusting that I am indeed live. And if you are on here with me live, then thank you for doing that. Thank you for being here. And I hope you enjoy this video. And if you're watching the replay, thank you too. And I want to know, if you're watching the replay, I want to know that you're interested in what I'm doing, because that's why I do it. I do it for you guys, not for me. I do it for you. So I would love to know if you're watching live or if you're watching the replay. So we're going to get started with Stampin' Thursday today. I do want to make mention to you of a couple of things. Today is the deadline for the July class to go with Turtle Friends, and it is you'll get some really cute card kits with that. So for $35, whoa, oh, I am so sorry. I dropped the phone. Oh dear. I didn't plan for that to happen. And I'm going to try to hold it very still. For $35, you get the Turtle Friends stamp set. You get half a package of the Brights Designer Series paper, and you get a package of rhinestone jewels, and 6 card kits with complete PDF tutorial and photos. All of that for $35. If you need to have it mailed to you, priority mail, then it's an additional $8. If you want the add-on, which is the punch, it's the turtle punch, which you really need. You need that turtle punch. But if you want that, that's an additional $18, which is the catalog cost. I don't charge you shipping for that. So, today's the deadline. Tonight, 10 o'clock. So if you haven't done it yet, I hope you'll jump in and let me know that you're doing that, and you'll need to get your money. You can PayPal it or Venmo it to me. And then tomorrow, lots of deadlines. Tomorrow is the deadline for the Quiet Meadow in-person class or class to go. And that's what we're going to talk about today, is Quiet Meadow. I love this set. And we're going to talk about all the different ways that you can use it. So the Quiet Meadow class, all you have to do is let me know that you want to participate. And if you'll need to, it's a $25 fee, or for $30 order, you get it free. So for a $30 order, you not only get the $30 worth that you ordered, but you'll get the class, the card kits, and everything that goes with it. So that's a better deal. But anyway, you'll need to let me know so that I can make up the card kits. And you can either place your order before the class, which is oh my goodness, July 17th. So it's a week from Saturday. And you can do it in person. I'd love for you to come. It's so much fun to work together and make these cards. Or you can do it to go. And if you need to have it mailed to you, then that would be an additional $8. Or you can come by and pick it up. So those are the two things I wanted to tell you about, because the deadline's here today and tomorrow. Otherwise, I'm going to put this wobbly phone up on the stand, and we're going to get started with this class today. So Hold on a minute. I'm going to try to block. Oh, that's not going to work. There. Hold on. All right. Let me get it positioned. I think that's about right. This turn. I know that's noisy. All right. Here we go. So, Quiet Meadow is the set that we're going to be using today. And the Quiet Meadow comes not only with an awesome set of stamps. The flower stamp, it's got a large bloom and a couple of smaller blooms. It's got the splatter dots. I love the splatter dots. I'm a big fan of the splatter dots. It also has a script stamp, which is so good to use as a background. And then the sentiments are thinking of you, you're too kind, love, and heartfelt love and caring. Heartfelt love and caring thoughts are with you. So, got some great sentiments as well. All right, that's the stamp set. The dies are the best part of this whole thing. These are the dies. You get all of these awesome stems, all these flowers and stems. You get dies for those, as well as a couple of butterflies. And I love that it has the single wing butterfly. I don't have any other dies that are the single wing butterfly, so I love that. These are little leaves that you can add to the stems if you want to. A little label that can be attached to the card, and then the larger label that goes with the sentiments. So we're going to look at both using the dies and using the stamps. Either set can be standalone. You can do cards standalone with just the stamps, or you can use cards standalone with just the dies. But of course, the best way to utilize this set is to get the bundle. So, let's get started. First of all, we're going to talk about beginner stamping. Beginner stamping is, I needed to take a sip. Beginner stamping is for those who are just starting out with making cards, card making, or you don't have some of the larger tools like the Stamp and Emboss, the Cut and Emboss die machine, or, well, I guess mainly that. It makes it harder. So simple stamping, beginner stamping. And this, and I'm going to set these over here now. This is an example of a card that can be done with just the stamps. And 1, 2, maybe 3 colors of ink. So what I did was I used my blender brush, which is this right here, and the smoky slate ink, and I just created a little bit of color on the front of the card, and then I used polished pink ink and stamped the flower onto the card. I can see that this is, and then I used my smoky slate ink again and used those splatters and stamped a few splatters. And the thanks, that is from a different stamp set, but I'm doing thank you cards right now. So the thanks goes right onto the card front. So it's a single layer card. Now, you know, it doesn't matter how long you've been card making, I still mess up. And I get in a hurry and I forget and maybe mash down my stamp a little bit too hard, or maybe when I'm stamping I rock it. And I did that when I stamped this. I rocked it just a little bit, and I got some residual on here, and I thought, oh, what am I going to do with that? So that's when I decided to put the flowers, look like blooms that have fallen off of the stem. And most people are not even going to notice that those are there to cover up a mistake I made. So this is a beginner card, just stamps and a couple of inks, and you've got, I think, a really nice card to send out. Now, that's with just the stamp set. This is maybe one step up from a beginner, maybe between a beginner and a casual card, using just the dies and some ink, but not using the stamp set. So these dies were just cut out of 2 different colors, three of the stems. I did use Gorgeous Grape and, again, a blender brush, and just added some color to the white background because it makes the dies then stand out a little bit more. And I positioned my dies on there. I took a little piece of ribbon, glued it down. I did use the sentiment die from this set. I used this die and put my thanks on there and added 1 gem. So because this is actually, it's not really a 2-layer because I didn't use any dimensionals, but I did add more to the background. So we'll call this between a beginner and a casual stamper. It's a beautiful card, beautiful card. So I'm going to put that one right there. Now this one steps it up just a little bit. I still used my Gorgeous Grape and blended in the background. I still used my 3 dies, same 3 dies. I still used my sentiment piece stamped with thanks. But this time, and I still used my ribbon, but this time I put my ribbon through the little hole in the die and attached it to the back. I cut this piece down a little bit, the white, and I used a Gorgeous Grape card base. So this is a little bit more, it's more of the casual stamping because I added more layers, and I put 3 gems on here. Now these are your rhinestone gems, your rhinestone jewels. Let me show you those. These are your rhinestone basic jewels, and you get these with the Quiet Meadow class. But I colored them. I used my Night of Navy blender pen, and I colored them so that they would blend in with my card. So these jewels are very flexible. You can use them in lots of different ways. All right. So that one is a stepped up card, more for a casual stamper. You do need, for these 2 cards, you do need to have the die machine. So that makes it more of a stepped up card. All right. And then here you have a sample for the Avid stamper. Now, this, because I've got 1, 2, 3 layers, I actually took this white piece and I used the color and contour bundle. I've used one of the contour dies and cut it out. I still did the Gorgeous Grape, and I still used the same 3 pieces, the same sentiment piece. I used the ribbon and wove it through, but I added a bow. I die cut this and put it onto a Night of Navy card front, and then onto my purple card base. The gems are still the rhinestone gems, and this time I colored them with mint macaron. So this one is stepped up. because of this die cut. Oh, and I raised. That was the other thing. I put dimensionals behind this flower, and I put dimensionals behind my sentiment piece so that it's raised up a little bit. And I don't know if you can see this or not, but I also used Wink of Stella on the blue one, and it sparkles. I can't tell if you can see it or not. I hope you can. But it makes such a difference to just use a little bit of Wink of Stella and pop things up just a little bit. All right, so we have the, let me put these back here. We have the beginner card, the very beginner card, using only stamps, ink and stamps. Then we move toward the casual because we're using the die cuts with the same technique though, and then a little more casual because I put the ribbon through here. That's the main difference. Oh, and I added, instead of doing it straight on the white card base, I did it on a card front and added it to a purple card base. And then the avid, where I increased the layers, used the die to cut out the white, popped these up, used some Wink of Stella, and added a bow at the bottom. So I hope you can see the difference in those. And now what I want to do, oh, and I do have, well, let's do this. What I wanted to do today was start with a card base. And actually I'm going to start with the white card base and a white card front. The card base, of course, is 8.5, let's see, it's 11, no, it's 8.5, I always get the measurements, by 5.5, and it's scored at 4 1/4, folded and creased with the bone folder. You always want to do that to give that fold a good clean crease. And then the card front that I'm using, I'm also using white, and it is 4 by 5 1/4, and of course it just sits right on the front. So I thought, well, this time I want to bring in a little bit of pattern paper, and I'm doing this from the fly. I've not made a sample of this, and I was looking in some of my current papers for something that has the colors that I want to use, and I love this Beauty of the Field, I think it is. I love this paper, Beauty of Friendship. I love this paper. I love the colors in it. And let's see. Yeah, I think this is the best one. So I think what I want to do is use that. But first of all, I'm going to grab a green, maybe Old Olive. Let me grab my Old Olive, which is over here. I should have grabbed it first. Sorry. It's in a container. Whoop, that's Mossy Meadow. It must be. I'll be right back. I should have had my Old Olive out, because I think it's Old Olive that is in that paper set, the colors. And you can, sorry about that, you can tell what colors are in the paper set. Let me get my paper set out. What did I do with that? There it is. Alright. So if you'll get your Designer Series paper pack, which is, this is the Beauty of the Earth. And if you'll look on the back, it'll tell you what colors are used. And Old Olive is one of the colors used in this paper. So I know that my greens are going to match. All right. So I'm going to create the background first, like I did on the others, and I'm using the old olive, and I'm going to put a piece of scratch paper under this, just in case. Okay. Make sure I'm up here where you can see me. So you can use an old sponge, cut it up. You can use a dauber. I love my blender brushes. I absolutely love these. They're so smooth. They work so well. So I'm going to tap it on my ink and then come in. Normally I would say start off of the cardstock and blend onto it, but we're doing this in the middle. So I'm not going to press down very hard, and I'm going to start swirling before I press down. And that way, hopefully I don't leave too much of a circle. It will leave some, but then you can come back and do it some more, and hopefully it comes out smooth. Blending takes practice, and it also, you just have to know that it's not going to be perfect. It's going to look very natural. Okay, I'm still blending. I still want to get some color in here, but I only want it in the middle mainly, and maybe up just a little ways toward the top. Okay. All right. I think that's probably enough. All right. My blender brushes, I have one for the greens, I have one for the reds, I have one for the blues, because I do use my blender brushes all the time. So, and they can be washed. They can be washed. So I'm going to put this away right now. Let's see. Yeah. And now I'm going to put my designer series paper onto this. And I'm going to have to put it and then cut it. Oh, my glue is not cooperating. Of course it's not. Isn't it Facebook Lifetime? So, yeah, got a different one. Some of my glues are running low, and I'm trying to finish them off, but I should get my new one out when I do a Facebook Live. I really should. All right. So I took it to the edge, and I shouldn't have done that because it's wider than the paper. So I'm going to have to be careful. I think I want it this way. And I'm going to glue it right here. And then I'm going to come along and I'm going to grab a baby wipe and wipe the glue off, because I think I'm going to run this through my cutter. And let me get this. The nice thing about the liquid glue is that you can straighten it up. There we go. All right, I'm going to run this through my cutter, and I'm going to use a Stitch So Sweetly die. I'm not using the contour because I don't want holes in it. I just want a solid cut. So I think the bigger one will work. It'll leave me enough room to put my flowers on. So I'm going to do that. Let me just step over here, right here, and get it out real quick. I think I've got it even. Yeah. Okay. run it through. Now, you wouldn't have to do that, but I want to see what that does. All right. I like that. I like that. I like the fact that it cuts the designer series paper too. I think that'll make it look really good on the white card base. And I could put a colored card base, but I'm going to stick with the white. Alright, so I don't need these designer series papers anymore. Set them over here. But what I do need, I keep a stash of pieces that I have cut with my dies from this set, so that when I get ready to make a card, I can look at it and go, okay, I don't have to cut right now because I've already got I've already got pieces cut. So I'm going to grab an old olive. Is that the one? There's two of them in here. Let me see. I'll put this up here where you can see them. Nope, I want this one. I want the bolder one, the bigger one this time. So I'm going to grab the old olive piece, and then the orange that's in there, I'll grab one of those for the orange. And there's actually some pink in there. So I'm going to grab some for the pink. And I'm going to bring them down. I'm going to have to cut them off, I can tell. I'm going to bring them down because I didn't leave room at the bottom. Or you know what? I can stamp my sentiment. This is what you do when you create. Yep, I'm going to stamp my sentiment right down here. And I'm going to use the thanks. And I'm going to use the old olive to tie everything together. So I'm going to stamp the sentiment right here at the bottom. Tap, 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 tap. Because I'm going to cut those off. So right here, let me get it straight. Thanks. There we go. Thanks. Like I said, I'm making thank you cards. And I'm using this Quiet Meadow bundle. Alright, I think I've got those the way I want them. Aren't those colors pretty? I mean, they just pull the colors out of the... You know what? I need a Mary Merlot in there. Maybe I want the Mary Merlot instead of the pink, because there's a lot of Mary Merlot in that paper. Yeah. Is that the only Mary Merlot? Oh, I do have some. No, I don't want to junk up the bottom. So I'm going to do that. Now, I also want a butterfly. And let's see if I have a... I do. I want the side view of the butterfly because I want it to be sitting right there. All right. I think that's what I want to use. So I'm going to close this up. Save those for another day. And now I'm going to get these pieces down. So I'm going to move it off of the white right now, because I'm going to get them down and then I'm going to trim them. Alright, I'll put the Mary Merlot piece down first. Get the lid off. That might help, huh? Alright, a little bit of... Hey, come on, Blue. You're the one that's supposed to be working now. Yeah. So what happens? It all comes out at once. Put that there, put that there. Put some on each flower. A little bit on that stem, and I think that's as far as it should go. Okay, get it down. And do the same thing with this, I think, is Cajun Praise. Okay, a little bit of glue, doesn't take much. Get it down, lower it a little bit. Oops. Blew the trash off of my card and blew the butterfly away. And then my old olive piece. I could pop this up, but I think I'll just pop up the whole thing and not pop this up. But you can do that. Okay. Put that right in the center, but I want to have room for the butterfly. And it's going to layer on top of the others. And now I'm going to trim them to the bottom of the pattern paper. Mainly because I want my scallop edge to show. So I'm going to trim them to the bottom of the pattern paper. And throw those away. Alright, I see it coming together. Now we are going to pop this up. And that's what'll make it stand out from the base. It's the same color. And I'm holding off on the butterfly to see where I can put it. I may need to put it on the white, on the card base. So I'm making a mess here. Okay. I'm giving this a good solid background. Okay, get the white, the backing off of these. I didn't want to stick. Throw those away. Alright, now we're ready to put it onto the card base. Now down to the thanks. Make sure I got it straight. It's hard at an angle to get it straight. Okay, that's straight. Now for my butterfly, yeah, it'll go. I'm going to put a mini dimensional right at the top of the butterfly. A little bit of glue right there at the bottom. Okay. All right. So we could add some gems to that if we wanted to. Let's see what I've got that I could add to that. Now, these are the holiday rhinestones. I could add the green. Let's see what else I got. That's what I do. I just have to figure out, you know, I think these will be better. These are the 2021, 2023 in colors. And so it's got the evening evergreen and the soft succulent. And I think either one of them would look good. There's the evening evergreen. It really picks up those colors. I think I'll use the evening evergreen. And I have exactly 3. So I'm definitely going to put one down here by the sentiment, right there. And then I think I'll put one right here. And one right up here maybe. There, right there. When you make a card, one of the design elements that you should keep in mind is it's always better to use odd numbers. So multiples of 3. Either 3 or, well, not even multiples of 3. Odd numbers. 1 or 3 or 5 jewels or whatever you're adding makes for a better design. And then when you put them on your, is this crooked? No. When you put them on your piece, they should form a triangle. They should form a triangle. So that's just something to keep in mind when you're creating your card. All right, hang on a minute. I am trying to get back. All right, here we go. So I think I'm done with that. I don't think I'm going to add any ribbon, but I could. I could put some ribbon right down here. I could put some ribbon up here in the corner. I think I do, though, want to do some wink of Stella on my butterfly. You know, every butterfly should sparkle, right? And that's an easy thing to add to this card. It's just a little bit of sparkle. There we go. All right. I think we're done with this card. What do you think? Is there anything else we should add to it? Put my background piece away. So I would call this a casual. At least a casual. Probably if I added ribbon and maybe another element, another layer, it would be an avid. So this is your casual card. And easy to make, though, with these die cuts. The only stamping involved is your thanks. All right. So we have looked at the avid card. We've looked at several of the casual cards. Several of these. I'm not sure they're all going to fit on the screen. And then your beginner stamper card. So no matter where you are, you can take any die set, any stamp set bundle, which is the stamps and the dies or the stamps and the punch, like the Turtle Friends that is closing today. It's a great one for beginner stampers because you still don't have to have the die cut machine. You've got a punch. The punch that goes with the set cuts it out for you. Let's see, I've got my Turtle Friends. Let's see, where's my Turtle Friends? Here we go. Here's the Turtle Friends stamp set. Cute stamp set. It's got the shell as a separate stamp, so you stamp your turtle, then you stamp your shell on, or you can put It's Time to Celebrate. Got a little bow tie for the turtle. It's got 2 smaller turtles, some streamers for birthday card, birds, hat, a shell for the smaller ones. Some really awesome stamps to create with. And then your turtle punch. And so this punches out your turtle for you. and allows you to use it in lots of different ways. So it's a great one for beginning stampers because you don't have to have a lot of equipment for that. All right, I did have a couple more. I told you I've been making thank you cards. Here's one with just the dies, a little bit of ribbon, and 2 layers. I layered the Night of Navy onto the polished pink. So that's another one. Here's one. And there again, I used the color contour this time and cut out the white and layered it on, I think, Pretty Peacock. And here is an Avid card. I inked the card front and then I stamped the background using the strip stamp that's with the Quiet Meadow set. And then I added my pieces in the 3 colors, the Evening Evergreen, Soft Succulent, and White. I added 2 butterflies. I used the same die that's in here and used the same color ink. I put Wink of Stella on the butterflies and I added the jewels. And I think I colored them. Yeah, I colored them with the Soft Succulent. So, lots of different ways that you can use this stamp set. The deadline for the class is tomorrow. So, don't miss that. Don't miss that. All right. I think that's it. If you do order something, if you don't have a demonstrator and you want to place an order, then my link is in this, it's right here in my introduction where you just click see more, and there's my link to order. And this is the host code that I would ask you to use. And this allows me to purchase products that I use for my workshops, the Stampin' Rewards. And for every $50, beginning August 1st, for every $50 order that you place, you get to pick something free from the celebration. So keep that in mind. There's the catalog, the mini catalog with lots of Christmas things in it, goes live August 1st, as well as the celebration brochure. So, you know, I'm doing a Christmas in August, so keep your eye out for that, because I'd love for you to join us for Christmas in August, and I'll be posting more about that. Thank you for joining on Stampin' Thursday, and if you're live, thank you for being here. I didn't see any comments, but if you're watching the replay, then thank you so much, and please let me know that you watched it. All right, you have a blessed rest of your week. Bye-bye.